Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSGO Clutch Podcast. My name is Adam Cohn. I am your host. Yes, we are back again. Life and dad life is so much fun. Bringing in once again the dad. I couldn't even think of a quick enough rhyme. It is the dad of the year? New dad?
Hey,
Dad bod?
buddy.
Dad bod?
Yeah, definitely got a dad bod. For sure.
It is Mr. Dan Welch, my co-host, my buddy, my pal. Dan, how the flying F are you?
I'm good.
Excellent.
I'm full. I just had some pizza, some salad.
I like it.
Today is Donald Trump's birthday, Adam. I don't know if you knew that, but
Interesting.
yeah, very.
So, you want to know what else is interesting? I got to attend my first Counter-Strike event in person.
Oh,
I went to IEM Dallas and DreamHack Dallas. That was a ton of fun. That crowd was a ton of fun. The crowd was so behind Cloud9. I was behind I walked into the grand final like wanting Ents to win because they've been so close recently. And when I got to the building, I'm like, nope, F it. Cloud9, let's go. And just seeing them dominate, and like, Groove is one of my favorite coaches in Counter-Strike.
so chill.
He really is, and like, I've been a fan of this roster for a while. They've been doing better. Now I like, and you can hear them saying it too in their interviews, like, they really enjoy hearing all the cheers and everything else and having a fan base behind them. Not that they didn't have it when they were Gambit, not that they didn't have it when they were players. Hearing it in a LAN. There's just something different about being part of the Cloud9 fan base that is just really different. I think at one point they said that was now their home arena because of all the cheers and everything else they were getting. Like, you could tell it really, like, to me, it meant a lot to the players.
Well, that means a lot to me too. To finally have like a U.S. team. I mean,
see, I'm sorry. That's the funny thing. The USA chants are breaking out. I'm like, you do know that's a predominantly Russian roster, right?
well, yeah, but whatever.
I'm like, yes, US-based organization. Why isn't FaZe getting that at the same time? Like, we have, where's how from Kazakhstan? So we got 5 Russians. We got 5 people from Russia, including Groove, and we have Hobbit from Kazakhstan. They're not from the US. If that's the case, why would the USA chance for FaZe going? FaZe is based in LA.
I don't know.
And FaZe is like an international organization. But anyway, I digress. Long story short, that was so much fun. The crowd was so much fun, and I'm so happy for Cloud9. It's still weird calling them that. Like, Cloud9 rosters is not, like, this is Gambit, to me. But my goodness that these guys have a statement win. I got a chance to see them and get pictures, and I got to chat and get pictures with Yanko and Stunner. I got a chance to see Maniac in person, Moses in person. If any of you all out there ever have a chance to attend any esport event, doesn't have to be Counter-Strike, whatever your favorite esport event is, if you have a chance to attend it live in person, it's a completely different atmosphere. LAN is so much more fun. It could be something, even like when Fury were taking on G2 in round 1, that was so much fun. Doesn't matter where you are, if you ever have a chance to go see one of these events in person, it's like nothing that you guys have seen on a stream. It's there's different electricity when you're in an arena like that. And I gotta say, that arena was pretty cool. Like, where they held it, that was very, very cool. But anyway, we got a Counter-Strike slate to talk about. Not about my fun adventures at IEM Dallas. That's for another podcast we could talk about. As there was a lot of stuff that was at IEM Dallas and DreamHack Dallas. We can go into another podcast. We don't have 4 games on a main slate. There's just a lot to talk about. There was so much fun there. But yeah, more on that in podcasts to come. That's what we call a professional tease. Or attempt at professional tease. Anyway, Mr. Dan, we have a 4-game slate. 5,000 the first tier on Draftkings for Blast. This is, I believe, the Blast Spring Final. It is. So how this works, everyone, is we have group play. And once we're done with group play, we get to the playoffs. This is going to be done by Sunday. So we start on Wednesday, June 15th, and then we are done by Sunday. So just keep that in mind. Our matches on this slate for Wednesday, June 15th, are FaZe versus Pain, G2 versus Vitality, Na'Vi versus OG, and Ents versus Big. It would have been so nice to see Spinks in person. But I got to see Snacks in person. But anyway.
Snacks is a legend, man.
Snacks is a legend. Like, it was... some of the clutches that this man was doing was so impressive. Just to see them live. Anyway. Alright. Dan, 4-game slate. Let's talk a little strategy first. It's been a while since we've seen 4-game slates on here for Tier 1. Quite frankly, it's been a while since you and I have discussed a 4-game slate. Mm-hmm. Talk to us and the listeners about... Talk to the listeners and myself about what strategy you're employing for a 4-game slate.
Well, great question, Adam.
Thank you. I do try.
I guess kind of, take your pick and go with it. I think you can do 2-2-2, 2-2-1-1, or 3-3 if you think there's a couple of stomps, which is certainly possible with FaZe and or Na'Vi. I almost said Navy.
Oh boy.
And Zywe.
Yes, we will get into Zywe, who is way too, part of my language, way too fucking cheap on the slate.
So high level, GPP, 3-3, probably not the best way to go because you're gonna miss out on some other ceiling. But
yeah, I do think 3-3 is not optimal on a 4-game slate.
No. 2-2-2 most likely.
That's kind of where I'm leaning, is a 2-2-2. Also, and this is probably more for MME, 2-2-1-1 if you really want some exposure from every game. The problem with 2-2-1-1 is those 1-1s you need to hit.
Yeah.
They need to hit, and they need to hit big. Because you're taking out of correlation. So, for example, a 2-2-2. Dan, let's just say I want to go 2 FaZe, 2 Vitality, 2 Na'Vi. That means I get no one from Big and Ents, which is fine. That game could be absolutely nothing, and, the game could go so even, there's not one player that's playing off if everything is balanced. Whereas opposed to if I go 2-2-1-1, I could go 2 Vitality, 2 Na'Vi, 1 FaZe, 1 Ents, if I wanted to, or 1 FaZe, 1 Big. I need to now take and get rid of the correlation of getting 2 from one team that I think is going to do really well, break it down to 1, and then take that off and try and hit on another game out of 10 players. Just the correlation for me isn't there. I like the idea of a 2-2-2, but if you're MMEing, I think if you want to play 3-3, I think that's fine. 3-2-1, not as viable. I think it's fine. I think 2-2-2 is probably the way I'm personally going to go on my build. I'm doing 1 entry. I'm probably going to do a 2-2-2. If you're mass multi-entering, 2-2-1-1, I think is also very, very viable. Now, for the...
You could throw some game stacks, too.
Yeah. I mean, if you could. Like, to me, and this is what I was just going to get into. If you're new at a Counter-Strike DFS, first of all, welcome. Second of all, I have a tutorial video on Counter-Strike DFS 101 over on RotoGrinders in their esports section. Go check that out. But basically, the basic strategy. I don't even remember where I was going with that. I had a really great point, and I don't know where it went.
You got too wrapped up in the video that you created.
I did.
Thinking about how great it
I
is.
am freaking proud of that video.
It's good. It's really good. I think you help a lot of people too.
I hope so. That was I spent over a half hour breaking that down in detail. A
whole 30 minutes.
Yes, shorter than our damn podcast, Dan. So the thing of it is, and Dan, you and I were kind of talking about this pre-show, and we're gonna get into here on our first game of the slate, is Pain versus Face. Is what do we do with Phase on this slate? Because the thing is, like, if you go 2-2-1-1, those ones they all need to hit, but those ones really need to hit. You're taking off correlation. So,
Yeah.
for example, if I'm just gonna take big versus ends because that's just a game that sticks out to me. That game could be even. That could go 3 maps and we could have even stats throughout. If you go 2-2-2 and you just don't have anyone in that game, and there's nothing in that game that breaks has a ceiling game, you're fine with a 2-2-2 because you have now correlation. Oh, that was the point I was going to go on. See, I knew it would come back to me. When you're playing games on Counter-Strike, it's not as optimal to take players from both sides of the same game. So, for example, if I'm playing FaZe and I think FaZe are going to win, I'm picking FaZe, but I'm going to pick players from FaZe. I am going to try not picking anyone from Pain Gaming. Why? Because if FaZe win, let's say FaZe should win this game 2-0. Like, this game I'm going to spend very little time on. But strategy-wise, FaZe win this game 2-0. The chances of anyone on Pain Gaming having enough stats to pay off their price tags or to be optimal in a loss with no match sweep bonus or even and no kind of like it could be 32 and 31. If that's the highest scorer from Pain Gaming, let's this is just a random stat line. 30 kills, 2 assists, 31 deaths. Right? Like, maybe you get a couple of first kills in there. Maybe you get a 4K. The odds of that paying off are not high. Because the chances of, let's say you play 2 phase no pain rather than 1 phase 1 pain, you're getting better correlation by playing the team that you think is going to win and the guys that you think are going to have the better stats. So that's typically what I look for. I try never playing opposing sides. You can if you want. It's perfectly viable. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying the chances of it happening are much less than correlating players on one team and not playing the opposing team. But then, like you said, game stack wise, if any of these games start going into overtime, a lot of players will be optimal because there are more rounds played, more stats, more everything else. So, but again, we're not playing to predict overtime. We don't look at DFS that way. So, Dan, Pain Gaming versus FaZe. This slate starts at 5 a.m. Eastern, by the way, for everyone playing on Draftkings. They also have a 2-game late slate, which is also, somewhere you can get different OG versus Navi and Big versus Ents. So, Dan, this game we really shouldn't spend much time on. All 5 from FaZe are firmly in play, including Carrigan. I have interest in no one from Pain Gaming.
No.
That easy.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe Big Zero.
Yeah, Big Zero's good.
Maybe.
Really good.
I mean, that's just a name that sticks out to me. I don't know much about this team at all, if anything.
He's good.
That name just sticks out to me, so call it a gut call. So if you want to one-off him, I mean, it's like let's take a look at Pain Gaming, and we take a look at the stats here for this team, and we take a look at the stats over the last 3 months of this team. This team's been together now for 3 months, and we take a look at what the stat line is. Nithon plus 327 kill to death differential. Big Zera plus 211. But then I want to rank this. Let's see how these guys do against top 30 teams. 17 maps. Big Zera plus 27. Hard Zayao plus 28. Nithon plus 31. Let's lower it. Let's see. They have no games played against a top 20 team. They're playing the best team in the world. So even if we want to take a look at these stats versus a top 30 team in 17 maps, yes, these are good because they're all positive. None of these are standing out to me as plays that I absolutely have to one-off these guys. None of them. If one of these guys were plus 100, that might be the one I look at and go, that might be an interesting contrarian play. In a non-phase built team, that might be the guy I play. But nothing here stands out like that, does it to you?
No, not at all. The only reason that I could see playing anyone from Pain is just strictly for savings, because I mean, I guess Hard Job could outscore Masuda, Tizian, Nexa, Nekaz, or PKL. Like, there's a chance that, but Flames is also cheap, so it
Yeah.
probably doesn't make sense. Like, from a salary savings perspective, it probably doesn't make, because they're gonna lose like 100%. And then Big Zare at 6,600. Like, it's not cheap enough to.
Right.
Um,
Who's the opera for this team? Nithon?
yeah, Nathan.
Okay.
But Big Zare is really good.
Yeah, I mean, so Nithon's the opera. But I mean, like, we look at Nithon stats here, right? Like, a .97 impact rating is an opera. I don't really care as much about the ADR as an opera because, again, it's op one shot, one kill usually, unless you leg somebody. You know, he has a really good DPR, but like, just
probably saving.
Yeah, I mean, like, nothing here stands out to me about him. Nothing stands out to me about Big Zera. Nothing stands out about Hadzaya. Like, again, if one of these guys were plus 100, I could see making a case to be contrarian. I mean, even if you want to play Big Zero at a 1.14 rating, that's fine, but I think the question we have to ask ourselves here is, are we playing phase? How much of phase are we going to play? Are we stacking phase? Or are we one-offing phase? And when you're doing your builds, that's something that all of you out there are going to have to figure out. You guys and gals are going to have to figure that out. Are you going to have to answer those questions? Because if it's... Go ahead.
Hold on. If I was doing like 50 lineups, I think I would do a minimum of 2 phase on every lineup. If I was doing 100 lineups, I would do minimum of 2 in 75% of my lineup. And then, like, just because, the ceiling is... well, hold on.
We've seen crazier upsets.
Right, okay. So, maybe I take that back. Just because the pricing limits so many other plays.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you have the most expensive player on Pain Gaming at $6,600, yeah, it opens a lot of stuff up. But Rop's 9,800, Brokey the Opera for Phase is 92, Rain is 82, Twist is 72, and Carrigan's 64.
Twist is going to be like 100% owned too.
That price on Twist, yeah, he's going to be highly owned because of that price.
Yeah.
Because that's why people are going to be able to get exposure to Phase. And look, if Twist has a great game, he has a great game. That's fine, but you're not getting leverage on the field in GPPs if he goes off. You're still going to want him, but you're still going to find those leverage spots. So, and there are some leverage spots here in this next game. Anything else on this game you want to talk about? It's Phase pretty much going to win 9 times out of 10. Maybe 9.5 times out of 10. But 9 times out of 10, Phase is winning.
I'll play Kerrigan, and Twist is going to be shock. So there you go.
I think Rain makes for an interesting play on the slate. The MVP of the major.
Rain. I don't know if you remember this, and I regret putting it on the podcast, but I said I didn't respect people that play Rain. But oh my god, was I wrong? And for a while, I think I used to hype up Rain, and I just lost faith.
I mean, he had a resurgence of the major, that's for sure. A lot of games still here to get to. Anything else in this game before we move on to some of the juicier games here on the slate?
No, but Rain won me some money that day.
Yeah, there you go. All right, before we move on to Team Vitality versus G2 Esports, a very quick reminder: drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. That way, there every single one of you all out there, you guys and gals, know every single time one of these podcasts drop. Especially with these blast lights starting so early. Follow us on Twitter at WanDelch, WANDELCH, and you can follow me on Twitter at AdamWX21. Follow the podcast on Twitter at CSGO Clutch Pod. Now that we got that all out of the way with Dan, Team Vitality versus G2 Esports, unless there's anything else you want to plug.
I'm good.
Excellent. Let's start off with Team Vitality. And let's start off with one of the most egregious fucking prices on this slate. And I apologize that I'm gonna fucking swear, but Zyro shouldn't be fucking $7,800 fucking dollars. What the fuck, DraftKings?
Twitch shouldn't be 7,200, but there's got to be some form.
Well, they had to do something with the phase price, and they could have everyone priced over 9K.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of silly.
DraftKings, what the fuck? I don't like swearing on podcasts, but what the fuck? There is no fucking excuse that Zywu should be $7,800 fucking dollars. Okay, now that I'm done swearing. Zywu, the offer for Team Vitality, is one of the 3 best players on the freaking planet. There's no excuse that he should be $7,800.
Do me a favor, Adam, and let's go to Pinnacle Odds and see what the...
Excuse me.
If there's any kind of, like...
Well, I think the biggest glaring thing is here on the Pinnacle Odds kind of stand right out. FaZe is a minus 2,075 favorite. Alright? Pain is a plus 1,173 underdog.
That's not even worth it.
So here's the interesting stats. This is the closest match of the day in terms of odds. G2 is favored at minus 167, and Team Vitality is an underdog at plus 137. I am going to be playing Team Vitality on this slate. I think Team Vitality are going to outright beat G2.
I can't help but agree with you, Adam.
So in other Pinnacle odds here for you all, Na'Vi are a minus 373 favorite with a temporary player versus OG. OG coming in a plus 287 underdog. Ents a minus 257 favorite, and Ents a plus 205 underdog. This is an Ents team that has Spinks back. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. The Big's in trouble. Big trouble.
Excuse me.
Big trouble, and where are we? What can't I remember?
Team Vitality versus G2. You gotta tell us how much you
know. Where is the
Zywu.
tournament?
Oh, we are in Lisbon, Portugal.
Lisbon. Oh, that's right, Portugal. Oh, wow.
Yes, we are in Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh man. God, who potentially, it's not the weekend, so never mind. Carry on.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So,
broken thought. Sorry.
Let's talk about, no worries. Let's talk about Team Vitality, as I think I'm going to be playing Team Vitality on this slate. Zywu, I've already said it. I'm going to come out and say it. Core play for me on this slate. I'm price enforcing him. It's Zywu. He's under $8,000. Quite frankly, it's Zywu under $9,000. We play Zywu. We play lots of Zywu. Enjoy playing said Zywu. Play Zywu. Now, the other people on Team Vitality are a little bit more iffy. What I mean by that is any one of these guys can go off at any time. However, the 2 Danes on this team have Magisk and Dupree. $7,400 and $6,800 respectively. These are the 2 I would target next over Apex, and I have no interest in playing Masuda. Masuda has outright lost any of his high fragging role since these guys have come in from Astralis. Masuda has gone back to being, I'm sorry, with all due respect to Masuda, for fantasy purposes, being freaking relevant. Being absolutely irrelevant for fantasy purposes, completely off my radar. You all want to take chances on Masuda for $1,000, please be my guest. I get zero. I am not going to have Masuda anywhere near my lineups. Now, it's a coin flip with Magisk and Dupree. Some games are Magisk games, some games are Dupree games. Which way are you leaning here, Dan? I kind of slightly lean Magisk over Dupree.
You just asked me who I lean, and then you told me who I lean.
I'm telling you what I think.
You are on fire tonight, bro.
Someone get me a thing of water.
Did you drink some coffee?
I have been going since like 7 o'clock this morning and haven't had a chance to have a nap yet.
And don't take this. That's not criticism. Like, keep it up. Like, I'm just like.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sitting back and listening. And
now let's go before I toast your ass off Discord, and I'll finish the rest of this podcast myself.
Oh shit! All right, so let me say something, Adam, so that we don't get some stupid comment on YouTube about how I don't say anything. Now, I agree with you, Zywoo, 100%. Magus, Eileen Magus, however, Dupree is in play and is probably a good play for GDP. But I guess I'm just a Magus truther.
You're a Magus truther?
I guess, I don't know.
Things I learned about my co-host today.
I always play Magus. I don't like Dupree. Especially because of the comment that he made on...
Whatever.
He made some stupid comment about, we're an English-speaking team now, and everybody's got to get used to it. Like,
Wow.
he was totally, shitting on Zywoo and, Masuda.
Ouch.
I think, because Apex speaks good English. And I don't know. I just don't like him.
Alright then.
I'm biased.
A freaking bias cat for sure.
Yeah.
Alright. Any interest in Apex the IGL or Masuda?
I guess Apex, just because he can be a total cuck. Like, if there are... He'll put himself in...
What?
A cuck?
Oh, okay. I did hear you right the first time. Holy moly.
Skills. He'll put himself, like, let's say there's an eco round, and he'll like, he's the IGL, so he knows what the other team's going to do, so he'll put himself in a position to get all the eco kills. I swear to God.
We're in rare form tonight. Yes, you're not wrong. I've seen that too. You're not wrong.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, but if it's close, Apex, no. It could be close. It is G2.
Okay. Well, Dan, speaking of G2, and the reason we're spending a little bit more time on this game, this is the closest game of the day, as you saw in the Pinnacle betting odds. I think this is the most interesting game of the day in terms of trying to get this game right. But that means whether you're playing it, what side you're playing it, or are you fading it entirely, right? Like, or how many do you play from this game? G2 side of things, Nico, one of the three best players in the world, 8,600. Again, that price I get with all the phase guys high priced. Hunter at $7,800. Monacy, the Opera for G2 at 6,800. Alexi B, the IGL is for G2 is 6,000, and Jax is 5,400. Now we've seen good stuff from Jax. I'll start off there. Any interest in Jax at 5,400? Because we saw some good stuff from him recently, both at the major and at IEM Dallas. Like he's shown some flashes.
That is true. I mean, I know that he's playing tomorrow. But I did see a post that said that he's forming a team with Kenny S, and that's what was fake. I don't think that has anything to do with this tournament, but yeah, Jax is in play for 5,400 for sure.
Absolutely. I also want to just go ahead.
He's the entry guy. He can run. I mean, he can go off or
get fragged.
Yeah, ruin your lineup.
That's the problem with playing high risk entry fraggers like Jax. Either he's going to break a slate, or more often than not, he's really not going to pay off.
Right. Because it's so hard to be consistent with that role.
Right. I mean, entry fraggers, you're going in, you're trying to get a kill, but you're playing for information. You're trying to figure out where the enemies are to call it out for the rest of your team. One, to get traded. Two, to try taking a site. So, or to take space. Like that's your role as an entry fragger, pretty much. I mean, entry fraggers can do a lot. Like you can go in and completely dominate a bomb site, which is true. But a lot of it's go in there, try getting a frag, find out where the enemies are, so your teammates can get in and try taking them out as well. So, I also want to just revisit Apex season play.
Yeah.
But I think he probably comes up fourth, but I do think he has a high ceiling too. So, for G2 for me, for G2 for me, I have no interest in Alexi B at 6,000. I have interest in Nico and Monacy. Hunter is very up and down. So I am probably not playing Hunter, and I have more interest in the stability of Nico and Monesi. And those two have shown to be a powerful 1-2 punch. Not saying Hunter isn't a powerful punch. Hunter is up and down. Monesi's been good. Nico we know is great. And Nico can sometimes carry a game on his back, so if you're looking for a one-off in this game, Nico is probably your one-off if it's not Zywoo.
I can see a lot of people going Nico Zywoo.
And see, like, that's where I break my rule. If it's simple or Zywoo.
Yeah,
I break my rule.
Or even Nico.
Only. I don't know. I don't know if I make a rule for Nico. Maybe. But those two operas are the best two players in the world. Again, you can argue Nico number 2 right now, but still. Simple or Zyro, even Nico. Those are the guys I'm breaking my rule for because they can carry a team on their back even in a loss and have a positive stat line that can break a slate. They're the only 3 players that I would break that rule for.
That was a 1.33 all-time rating.
He's insane.
That's crazy.
So, anything else here from this game?
I do like Hunter.
Okay, so you like Hunter probably more than me on this slate.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting up there in age, but I think he's been. So I have this kind of harebrained theory that because Nico is so good, he'll like tag down players and then let Hunter clean up just so that Hunter can look better. I know it's crazy, but
that is a crazy theory.
But I've seen games where Nico will get like 30 assists and Hunter will have like 30 kills. You know what I mean? Like it just, and I know it's probably not real, but I just think that Nico helps Hunter. That's just
they're cousins. Of course, they can help each other.
Yeah, they're related. Nico is clearly the better player, but
so
there's been some good.
Who do you like more, Team Vitality or G2? Which way are you leaning?
It's tough, but yeah, I think I gotta go with Vitality, just because there was also some weirdness at the, I don't know if it was Dallas or maybe, I think it was Dallas, like, it just seemed like they were tense, like something's not clicking, maybe with Lexi B, maybe he's not actually even calling anything, maybe Nico's calling everything, you know what I mean, like, it just seems...
I don't think there's a loud voice on that team besides Nico.
They got beat by Fury, like, in like a really bad way.
I saw it in person! It was really interesting to see G2 choke in person.
And I think people will play G2 tomorrow.
And I didn't even think that was as much of a choke by G2. I think it was just... they couldn't close out a map.
Yeah. Well, they closed out the first one.
Anyway. Alright. But you agree, Nico, Hunter, and Monesi are the G2 guys you're interested in?
Of course.
Okay. Are you have any interest in Alexi B? Because I really didn't get a chance to ask you about him. Any interest in Alexi B?
If you think G2 wins.
Okay.
Because he has had some, and I think this is sometimes evidence of problems amongst the team is when the IGL is like having to step up.
Yeah.
And there were a few rounds or maps where it was like it seemed like Alexi B had to kind of take over. He's good enough to do that, so it's not
For sure.
It's not crazy.
Alright, should we get into these last 2 games?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get into it. The new OG versus the temporary new Navi.
Extra, baby.
This is going to be really interesting. OG. When did that happen?
No one's played Dexter. I can tell you that right now.
Wait. What? When did Manchu get benched?
He's benched?
Why?
I think he's benched. I think he just... Isn't he sick? Is that the news?
Where's the Dexter news? I know it's recent. Announced Dexter departure.
Dexter's out of spirit because he wants to go back to the motherland.
Okay, to Minister in Serbia long term. So Dexter is transferred. I must have missed the OG news. I haven't seen anything about. Oh, here it is. It was a day ago. Dexter steps in for OG at Blast. Oh, he was okay. Yeah, he did fall. He was struck down in those. Okay, so Dexter standing in. This is good. This just picked up way more than I thought.
Yeah, without Boom and the Navi
Oh
issues,
my
OG could
goodness.
win.
Okay.
I don't think it's that crazy.
Nope. I have very much interest now in Dexter on this slate. I can't believe I'm saying that. Because here's the other big news. Again, we've been so busy about just like working on the slate. We're trying to making this an hour, but this is the title of this article. Simple quote. Maybe I will take a break. I need to set
You're
up
not
my
supposed to tell
life.
anybody.
Not travel with the same bag for 6 months. End quote. Dude
Yeah,
isn't wrong. I mean, what's left for Simple to do? He's won a major.
his homeland is in war. Like he's got to like.
No one would fault him if he took a break because of what's going on with the war in Ukraine.
If you read that article, though, he did say like his one goal is to not let FaZe win a Grand Slam. So take that how you will.
Yeah, I mean, so everyone go check out this article at hltv.org. But I think
That's
the
big news.
interesting theme right now is no Boomage on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Boomage, I think, has been benched. SDY is stepping in.
I think they like released Boomers because of.
Well, I think he didn't want to leave Russia or whatever
Yeah.
the situation was. So I mean, I don't know. This is gonna be very, very interesting. So let's get into the OG side of things. Now that I know no Mantu in this tournament, Dexter 7600, the offer for OG, Neofrag at 7,000, Fiku at 6,200, Flames at 5,400. Next to the IGL is 4,600. Dan, this is a really interesting OG team. Now with not only two new players for Nexa to work with,
Good
Flames
players,
being
though.
the only one left from what was now the old OG roster. He's now the veteran on that team. As crazy as that sounds.
Flames is a great play.
Yeah, 5,400 is too cheap. This guy is really, really good. You're coming in against a Navi team who was still great. So simple, $9,400, best player in Counter-Strike, probably the best player to ever touch the game. Bit at 8,400, Electronic is underpriced at 7,400, Perfecto at 6,600, and SDY at 5,600. I don't even know who's IGLing for this team. Maybe Electronic?
Yeah, it's electronic for sure.
I have no interest in Electronic now.
Yeah, no.
I've never seen him IGL. So that just concerns me. So now you have a new looking OG team with a stand-in and two new players. You've got a Navi team with no boomage after many, many years as IGLing. Simple who's thinking about taking time off. SDY who's standing in. Electronic now possibly been Electronic now the IGL. This game is pick who you think is going to win and try picking the players you want. There is so much news with this game. I have no idea how this is going to go. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Of all the players, Dan, here's how we're going to do this. Of all these players, give us 4 you're interested in. Doesn't matter the team.
Flames, Dexter, Simple, and Bit.
I agree with those 4. I'm reversing the order. Dexter 1, Flames 2, Simple 3, Bit 4. This is not saying Bits. Nothing against Simple. Go ahead.
You want me to put it in order?
Oh, yeah. I was just ranking in order your favorite to least favorite.
okay, so simple bit Flames Dexter. Flames Dexter only because of price.
Okay, that's fine. Like for
I still
me,
like.
I'm gonna go contrarian and go OG over Navi.
Yeah,
And I
that's
know it's
possible.
massively contrarian. But if
I
that's
don't
the
think it is.
case, and if OG win, and if Navi don't do anything, I want $5,000.
X is a great. Like he's gonna find a way to get these pieces to work. Like he's a super smart guy.
He is. And again, but
Next is a
like
good play too. Actually, Next is a really good play.
4,600, he's too underpriced.
Yeah.
I know Navi's a powerhouse. They're the second best team in the world. They have all the pedigree, all the credentials, the best player in the world, one of the top 10 in bit, top 15 in electronic. I don't know what Navi gonna look like. Navi should win this matchup 8 times out of 10. I am
Ooh.
going right now. Dexter 1, Flames 2, Price and Upside, Simple 3, Bit 4. Those are my favorite 4. These are not least favorite. In order of my favorite plays from 1 to 4. So Dan's 4 are Simple, Bit, Flames, Dexter. Mine are Dexter, Flames, Simple, Bit. So we're in agreement on the 4. Now, Neofrag's in play. Electronics in play. Perfecto's in play. SDY's in play. Fiku, I think, is here. Fiku's in play, and Nex is in play. Fiku, kind of, sort of in play. I think it's just a matter, Dan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's just a matter of how you're building your lineups, and quite frankly, this might be the last game you build your lineups around.
What do you mean?
If I'm starting to build my lineups, let's just say I start off with Phase, and then I get over to, like, Vitality. And if I don't have enough money left for Simple, am I going to go off my original build and try to fit Simple in, or fit a bit in? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I would just say keep that all in perspective. Anything else in this game you want to talk about?
Yeah.
All right. Last
Lots of
game
good
on.
plays though.
Yeah, lots of good players here. Last game on this slate is Big versus Ents. The Land Master Sphinx is
Yeah, man.
9,000. Actually, let's go over Big first. Searson, 7,600, the Opera for Big. Tabson, the IGL for Big, is 7,000. Faven is 6,200. The returning Crimbo is 5,800. Tizian is 4,800. I believe Crimbo should be back in this lineup. So Keto was standing in. Keto was standing in for Crimbo.
He was sick, I think. He had to go back home. I don't know. They didn't. It was a little vague. That's why he didn't play.
Let's see if we can find out on hltv.org here who's in Big's lineup. Crimbo is on here. Oh, Crimbo had tested positive for COVID. So there's a chance Keto's gonna play. So that kind of takes Keto and Crimbo out of play for me on this slate.
Yeah, I don't think you would want to play them anyway, but
Right, but like still, it's like I mean I don't know. So I mean I'd have interest in Crimbo if I know before lock he's playing. I don't think we're gonna have that information. So I have interest in Searson and Tabson and Faven. That's it. And it's very minimal interest. Well, it's minimal interest, not very minimal. It's minimal interest.
yeah, I mean they have to win. Well, hold on. I don't think Big. And this is just me going off of memory, but I don't think Big does. Anybody on Big does all that well with losses.
Not
'Cause they're
usually, to
so
my knowledge.
yeah, they're so strategy focused that they're not they don't like I can't think think the word. They don't.
Maybe Tabson if he has a big game.
I can see
Tabson,
Tabson.
I can see doing it. Oh, by the way, we're gonna probably get Nuke.
Uh, yeah.
If that's the case, we've seen Tabson either suck massively on Nuke, do okay, or he freaking has a massive ceiling day on Nuke. We've seen all sides of that game on Nuke from Tabson. But when I think of ceiling games from Tabson, I think of when he plays on Nuke.
Ooh, this is a good Snappy day. Snappy goes off on Nuke.
Snappy, I think, is very interesting on this slate. He's the IGL for Ents, and he's 5,600.
Oh, God. I have concerns about Hades on... Man, he should be good on Dust, too.
I am not interested in Hades versus Searson. I'll take Searson in that matchup.
Yeah, really?
I love Spinks on this slate.
Yeah, I think I do, too.
I actually think Spinks is my core play over Zywo.
Yeah, Hades is bad on Dust, too. Actually, like... Oh. So Spinks. But somebody's got to go off.
I think it's going to be Spinksy Winksy. Yeah, I freaking said it! Spinksy Winksy!
Alright, so just real quick. So,
yes, sir.
Navi, Spinks went 15 and 23.
Yes, sir.
I can't tell who that is.
I have no idea.
Oh, BNE, 23 and 16. G2, 11 and 16. Phase, 9 and 18. Virtus Pro, 25 and 24. So he's just got some. It's diluted. His stats are very diluted. So yeah, Spinks is a great play.
Yep, I'm playing Spinksy.
Okay.
Diha also really interesting at 8,000.
Of course, he's been great lately.
Mm-hmm. I think my third favorite from this team is probably Madden, 6,400 due to price again. Hades probably fourth and Snappy fifth, but I actually think Hades last and Snappy fourth. Snappy just has a little bit higher ceiling and has a much cheaper price point on the slate.
He goes off on Nuke.
Yeah, and again, just if we're looking at the Battle of Operas, Searson versus Hades, like, give me Searson. I think Searson wins a lot of those matchups.
Especially on Dust too, and Nuke is not. I mean, I think Hades does well on Nuke.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, Hades is getting better, but I think Searson is just a better opper right now.
Sure.
So
for sure, and more experience too. So it's like,
yeah. Dan, let's do the same thing we did in the last game. Top 4 plays in order from 1 to 4, regardless of team.
I'm gonna go with Spinks number 1.
Yep, I agree.
Actually,
do it. Do it!
Madden.
Do it.
Madden number 2.
Rude.
Yeehaw. No, Snappy number 3 because of price.
I really thought you were going Snappy too.
I gotta stick with all 4 ends and then Yeehaw. I just can't see big.
So I think I agree. Ents is probably I think Ents is gonna win regardless. Here's what I'm going with. Spinks 1. I agree with that. You're not gonna do it. I'm doing it. Snappy 2.
All right, I'll take mine too. I like Snappy number 2.
Searson 3. Diha 4. I wanted to go Diha 3. Searson 4. But I think Searson's in a good spot here.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
So I'm going to go Spinks, Snappy, Searson, Diha.
This is price.
And if you really want to get contrarian on this slate and you want to go with a 3-man end stack and add Snappy in that end stack, I think that's contrarian. Because Snappy maybe 15 to 20% owned on this slate. Maybe. Thoughts?
Somebody messaged me. What was the question?
I said, I think a way to get contrarian on this slate, if you're going to go a 3-man stack, I think adding Snappy to an Ents 3-man stack, I think, is a way to get contrarian on the slate, because I don't think Snappy gets above 15 to 20% owned on the slate.
I don't. He might even be lower. I think. Well, maybe not, because it's hard to stack 3 phase, right? It's much easier to stack 3 ends, and I'm sure people know the big is probably going to get trounced, and that Snappy is, he's been doing
I could see
well.
this go in 3 maps.
It's possible. Yeah, Dust 2 is questionable for.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this go in 3 maps.
Which, if it did, I don't like Snappy as much.
That's fair.
So,
I think Snappy, yeah, he'd probably do well more in a sweep.
yeah,
So.
yeah, for sure.
All right, Dan, let's get into it. We're almost at an hour on this podcast, and I know some of us have to get to bed.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Dan?
Yes, that is me.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. Core play. 1 core play, 2 value, 2 GPP, and a favorite team stack, as we call our core value, GPP, and favorite team stack segment. Dan, who you got?
Core play would be Wee.
Zywee! AKA Zywo.
Value would be Hexa.
I like it. Second value play.
Flames.
Okay. 2 GPP plays. And for all you OG listeners out there, yeah, Zywee from way back in the day. All right, Dan. 2 GPP plays.
2 GPP plays. That would be Chabson and Electronic.
I like it. And who's your favorite team stack?
Yes.
I like it. For me, core play Spinks. Very close to her core play is Zywo, but I'll put Zywo under GPP. Go overweight on Zywo. 2 value plays for me are going to be, let's take a look here. Crimbo, if he plays, and if we know he's playing, it's Crimbo. And Flames. If you want one that is a value play that is guaranteed to play, Faven. Not guaranteed, but you know what I mean. Someone we know is in the lineup. So Faven.
He's borderline GPP because he's 6,200.
Right, but he's also a value play. I mean, like the chance of him paying off. Fine, I'll put Faven under GPP. Okay. Apex is a value play at 6,000. I want to say Neofrag, but he's 7,000, so I can't put him as a value.
No, that's GPP for sure.
Yeah, GPP for me is gonna be Zywu. Like I said, I'll put Faven under GPP as well. Yeah, and I'll go Magisk as well, GPP. Oh, so and Dexter, obviously, like you and I talked about it. Like Dexter's the definition of a GPP play on the slate. Stand in. Clearly, he's going to have something to prove right now. So I think he could have a big game.
I'm going to disagree with that and say that he doesn't have anything to prove, and that's why he's so dangerous. Because
I like
he basically took Spirit to the semifinals of
the major.
The major, like, there's nothing.
That was nuts. That was nuts.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this guy has had some monster games, like 40 and 10, like simple shit. Almost, and now I'm gonna get like a little bit, aluminum foil caps is maybe was simple taking a break.
Maybe taking a break.
But it doesn't make now because now is Ukrainian, so never mind.
Simple is Ukrainian, yeah.
Yeah, so no, I was gonna get the maybe Dexter was gonna go to Navi, but that's definitely not gonna happen.
Nah. Anyway, all right. Dan, do you want to do a prize pick segment tonight? Oh, by the way, favorite team stack is OG.
Okay. Really?
Phase is too freaking easy.
Oh, that's ballsy.
I'll put it this way. Favorite GPP stack is OG.
Okay. Good.
I mean, if I had to pick a favorite stack, it's probably Vitality. And I'd probably stack Zywu with one of the 2 Danes.
Yeah.
Dan, do you want to do prize picks, or do we want to call it a night?
Well, I can tell you right now, Brokey's is 38.5, and that's too low.
All right, let's get into prize picks. Dan, we'll do this a little bit quicker. Give us 2 to 3 picks So you're gonna go
30,
Brokey over 36
over
and yeah,
38.5.
yeah, Brokey's 38 and a half. Over on Brokey, okay.
Props under 39.5.
Okay, I like the call. Do you have a
And
third?
Modesty over 35.5.
I like the plays. I agree with the modesty over 35 and a half. I like the Brokey over that and the twist and the Rops under. I like that. I think twist at 36 and a half is a nice push line. Give me Zywoo over 39 and a half. Choppy line, but I think Zywoo really succeeds here.
Yeah, I think that's actually a lot. I like that one a lot too.
From a prize pick standpoint, give me Dupree over 34 and a half. That's too low.
Under though.
Give me simple under 45 and a half.
Jesus. I didn't see that. That's crazy. 45
Give me
and a half.
simple under 35 and a half.
45 and a half.
That's insane.
That is insane. I've never seen anything that high.
That's crazy. All right, Dan. That's going to do it for episode today. Again, follow us on Twitter at WanDelch and at AdamWX21. Any last minute thoughts before we get out of here?
No, love everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll catch you for the Thursday slate. Have a good night. Latest, peoples.